Hello, and thank you for listening to this episode of the Moore's October Rant. Today's rant is going to be titled No Rescue Coming, because sometimes I feel like, in life, we feel like there's someone that's going to come and rescue us, We feel like someone's going to come and save us from our situation. And, a lot of the time, no one's going to come and rescue us or come and save us, We have to figure out the situation that we're in, and we need to get out of it ourselves and find a way out. Because I'll give you an example. I talk to a lot of people online, and, over the years, I talked to quite a few people, and I mostly talk to women, but, over the years, I talk to them, but if I was ever, and this is on the internet, but if I was ever in a really bad situation, or if I was in trouble or needed help with someone, or from someone, I should say, those women on the internet, they're not going to come and save me. They're not going to come rescue me because, I'm going through something and I need them to come save me, A lot of the time you have to save yourself, and you have to realize that no one's coming to rescue you, unless you call 911. Then they'll come rescue you, but no one's going to come rescue you from your life, life problems and, like you did this, or, like maybe you feel a little bit depressed and lonely and sad. A lot of the time you have to figure that out yourself, and someone's just not going to go drop everything and come and save you and rescue you. And that's kind of the mindset I had when I was talking to, different women over the internet. And, I'd be going through a really hard time. And, I'd be thinking that one of them is going to come save me. But, that's just not how life is. Some of them lived on the other side of the United States, and some of them lived in other countries. So I couldn't just expect them to drop everything and come see me. And that's one of the things that I've realized over the years. I've really started to go online and talk to different girls and have fun and, meet new people. And, I started to do that around 2014. So it's been 10 years. And in the last 10 years, none of them came to rescue me. None of them actually came to, help me when I was going through a hard time, And I was the one that always was there for myself in the end. So I feel like sometimes we feel like we want someone to come and save us. I was just using that as an example for me, but, it could be anybody, like we want someone to come rescue us. But, a lot of the time we have to rescue ourselves. And at the end of the day, if we're in, I remember Post Malone, he was asked, because he was going through a really hard time and he was drinking and stuff like that, and he was just not feeling like himself. And he says, I felt so fucking lost. And the interviewer, I think his name is Zane, he does the interviews or podcast interviews for Apple. And he asked him, he said, who saved you? Who brought you out of it? And Post Malone said, me. I brought myself out of it. He goes, you're only the one at the end of the day who can bring yourself out of it. You just have to surround yourself with people who love and care about you. But at the end of the day, you have to bring yourself out of it. And he's absolutely right. And every time I've been in that situation, I was the one who brought myself out of it. And it wasn't any other chick that I was talking to online that did it. None of them are going to come save me. I remember I would be walking around, the city I live in. And I'd be walking, I'd walk maybe a mile or two. And I'd always think that beside me would be one of those women, that I talked to online, or, I feel like if I turned my head, maybe they'd be there, or maybe they actually would surprise me. I don't know why I thought that, but they were never there. And I always had to figure things out on my own. And I had to figure out what I'm going to do by myself. And they were never there, It's sad though, because say someone in my family had a medical emergency, or say even I had a medical emergency. At the time I had roommates, but say I was talking to one of them online, and say I had a medical emergency and I had to be rushed to the hospital. That woman isn't really going to know that I have a medical emergency. And even if I do, she's not going to be there for me because what's she going to do? Drop everything? And I think one of them lives in California. Like, are they going to drop everything and travel to the other side of the country just to see me when we have only been talking for about 5 or 6 months? You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, it's nice to have people there for you, but you really have to rescue yourself. You really have to save yourself and, realize that no one's coming to rescue you. If you have thousands of dollars in credit card debt, no one's coming to rescue you. You have to save yourself. And I feel like I've made topics that are similar to this. And, maybe I have, but this is a particular topic that's being talked about because I feel like a lot of people just don't realize that you have to save yourself a lot of the time. You have to rescue yourself because no one's coming to rescue you, and after 10 years, none of those women did rescue me. None of them actually did save me. None of them actually came down. None of them were ever there. And, you're probably thinking, well, if you're upset about them not coming to see you or never coming to meet you or ever coming to help you and coming to see you in person, why couldn't you go to them? Like, why couldn't you go see them? And that's a really good point. And someone that's paying attention would probably ask that. And there's a multitude of different reasons. Money's one reason. I was in my early 20s for the most part. And, if you're in your early 20s, you don't really have a lot of money. You're struggling as it is. And I was working full time, so I didn't have the time either. And I had family problems going on at the time. That's why I was usually online, because I wanted to get away from my family. So there was a lot of different multitude of different things. But, I was just trying to make a point that no one's coming to rescue you. And that is the main point. But anyways, thank you for listening to this episode of the Moore's October Rant. Signing out. Have a good one, guys. Goodbye.